Brothers and sisters, I'm sorry for my hiatus, but look, here's a Book of Mormon that I found in this hotel room. Throw that out because Joseph Smith is a false prophet by definition. He fails the Deuteronomy 13 test. But let's look at what the book of Micah has to offer us in terms of insights into God's redemptive qualities. In Micah 7:19 we read, He, Yahweh, will again have compassion on us. He will tread our iniquities underfoot. You will cast all our sins into the depths of the sea. Now in the Hebrew, we come up with this idea of tashlikh, which means that Yahweh will literally throw our sins as far as he possibly can. He doesn't even want to see them. Like, he will forget about them completely. And what's interesting is that there are two conjugations of its primitive root, shalach. And you could say shalach is to cast out in one conjugation, but in another conjugation it means to send somebody forth. So is it possible that this prophecy is messianic since these two primitive root words are related? Maybe it's suggesting that Yahweh, by sending a Messiah or sending some form of prophet, will be able to accomplish the mission of casting out someone's sins. So is it possible that Yahweh sends someone who brings in the forgiveness while casting out sins simultaneously? Well, as I read in my previous video, the Son of Man had the power on earth to forgive sin. Now, the reason I bring up Tashlikh is because it sounds like both Yahweh is sending somebody forth to accomplish the mission of bringing the world forgiveness, as well as purging the sin out from among his people. But it gets boiled down into this tradition where our Jewish brethren will throw little bits and pieces of bread into water to symbolize the casting out of their sins and the forgiveness of their sins. And in Spain, this is where this idea originated from. This is something that our Sephardic brothers do, but not only that, this is something that our Ashkenazi brothers do. Now, there's a practice known as sacudirse las faldas, which means to shake the flaps of clothing. Some rabbis view this as forbidden according to halakha, although there are Jews, if you look up on YouTube, who will talk about this ritual and promote it as part of their atonement. What's interesting about all this is that we have a bread and water ritual that's tied directly to Tashlikh, and we know that Tashlikh refers to Yahweh casting out sins, but also sending out an apostle is a very similar concept to casting something out. And the reason why this is interesting is because if Yahweh were to send an apostle or a prophet, an example of this is Yeshua, who claims to be the bread of life and the water that you could drink and never thirst again, then this all suddenly connects.